Hi everyone, happy to be here. Um, we will talk about today of Azure Security Center to improve regulatory compliance by CJ. Hope we will enjoy this session. So CJ, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so today I'll be talking about how to improve your regulatory compliance using Azure Security Center. So, for those of us who work in Azure, we know the importance of having our environments up to date and in line with Azure Security benchmark. Yeah.
Superb. So floor is yours. So if you have question, guys, put them in the chat, and we will feed them to CJ, and he will try to answer. So have a
Okay.
great session, guys.
Thank you. Yeah. So I will share my screen. So basically, for those of us who work in the Azure cloud environments, and or those of us who use any cloud solution like AWS or Google, understands the need to have a kind of a dashboard where uh, all the security, all the uh, recommendations of all your solutions, how to pen out in line with the cloud governance, as well as the line with the cloud compliance set aside by the cloud vendor. So in this case, we're using the within the security center in Azure. We're gonna check how the regulatory compliance based on Azure security benchmark paints out with your environment, and we do this by looking in this case, the regulatory dashboard within the Azure Security Center. So the regulatory compliance is basically a set of parameters which are built around your environment. And these environments are basically checking the health of your applications, the solutions you have running in Azure, and how these solutions measure up with the Azure security benchmark. And the Azure security benchmark is based on the Center of Internet Security, as well as the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Basically, today is just to look around the cloud environment and then further look at the Security Center and then focus purely on the regulatory compliance dashboard and then see what we can do with it. So today we'll just the four things we'll focus on to learn is to evaluate your regulatory compliance. So I will show my cloud environment, and then we could now see what kind of informations uh, we could get from the regulatory compliance, and then use the regulatory compliance dashboard to see how the kind of risk or what Microsoft says on how to resolve such risk, and then to stay up to date and to meet to the benchmark. Also, we would look at how to improve the compliance posture by taking actions on recommendations. So, Azure Security Center has a recommendation, and this recommendation goes directly to look at, say, for instance, we have a visual machine, and this visual machine needs to it have a disk inscription in it, and then we need to take steps to inscript this visual machine as recommended by Azure recommendation. And then next, we will set up alerts on changes to your compliance posture. So whenever there's a change in terms of your compliance, there will be alerts triggered. So for instance, triggered to log analytics or triggered to say an automation you created so you can stay up to date and then take actions when necessary. And then we will show how to you can export your compliance data as a continuous stream and also as a weekly snapshot. So basically, to use Azure Security Center and to use the regulatory compliance solution within Azure Security Center, you first have to have the Azure Defender enabled. You could get the Defender for free for 30 days. Also, you need the right access control, so the role-based access control. So, say if you have the security reader rights, which and this is insufficient. So basically, you will get like say kind of a security admin role assigned, or to have the resource policy contributor role assigned in order to work on the regulatory compliance dashboard, as well as to work on the Azure Security Center. So in assessing the regulatory compliance, basically there's uh, this is pinned down on the dashboard. So the dashboard shows you information based on the level of risk, and then matches that, benchmarks that with a score, percent in a percentile against Azure benchmark, security benchmark. So the dashboard helps us to focus on attention on the gaps in compliance with the chosen standard and regulations. And then, so basically, when you go on Azure Security Center, so share the next slide. So this is the Azure Security Center. And then we are looking at the regulatory compliance. So we could see that my environments have 59% score. And the higher the score, the better it matches with this benchmark. And these are benchmark based on the CIS. And also, so the idea is there is that, okay, say I have 22 out of 37 controls done by Microsoft Azure, and these 22 control points has issues. It doesn't match to the compliance, and it doesn't match to the benchmark. So as you can see here, this is like a drill down of the issue and the control points. So for instance, you could see the network security group has an issue, and also the identity management has an issue, as well as the privilege access has an issue. You can see the green mark, the endpoint security, yes, is adequate. So there's no issues with it. And further down, so you could see kind of when what basically what Microsoft pinpoints in this in the case of network security. So it shows that you have a severity. So the severity, the level of severity in this case, is kind of minute, because there's more of the green part. So the green part is adequate. So our concern is to resolve the red mark here. So you could see the red mark is coming from, there are three failed resources. So these three resources out of 35 resources are behind or doesn't meet up with the regulatory compliance. And so we need to find a way to resolve this. And often when you click or click further on this, you will see a recommendation on how to resolve this. So further, so the so as you can see, if say you have like you need to run a report about, say your manager says, okay, I would like to get a monthly report on our security position in our subscriptions. So you could use the within the regulatory compliance, you can run a report, kind of a download report, and this report you could now send it across in form of a CSV format or a PDF format across, and then you can now send it across to the person who needs it. Then, and this report gives you kind of a breakdown of all the issues and the position with the score. So this is the secure score, kind of a matrix of where your posture is and what points was the control points and what issues that need to be improved. So the idea there is just to the higher your score is, the better you are close in terms of security to Azure Security Benchmark. So in this case, we have a case of the severity uh, an issue. So this shows basically there's a high severity that your visual machines needs a disk inscription. So, and this would be a high. So we have like a low, medium, and high severity. So if you want to resolve this, so you basically have to do this inscription on the given VM. So you could see a list of 3 VMs that has this issue. So you can now take actions to remediate issues. So in this case, to create this inscription. So basically, inscript the OS disk and also the data disk, for instance. So you can see a snapshot of the how to do this inscription. So basically, when you say first, you need to go to the VM. So we have the name of the VM here, and then we have to click the disk settings. So within the disk settings, as you know, we have kind of a VM has kind of basically 2 disks. So the OS disk that manages the operating system, and then the data disk. You can also mount extra disk on the VM. So the inscription, you could choose to inscript only the OS disk, or to inscript the OS and the data disk at the same time. And then further on inscription, if you want to do an inscription, you need a key vault. So you could now create a key vault or use already existing key vault to do the inscription. And further on, we also have kind of a feature where you can do like a continuous export. So if you would like to kind of a continuous information, a continuous stream of your security posture, you can now which you need to you can run to log analytics or any other external analytics tool, and then you can use this functionality within the security center, and then to export it, and then choose which kind of measures you would like to your posture, your cloud posture will measure up to. So, for instance, if you want to measure up to the Azure Security Benchmark, or to measure up with this one of the CSI criteria. So, if basically you would like to track your compliance status with other monitoring tools in the environment, Security Center includes kind of an export mechanism to make it straightforward, and that's be using the continuous export. And then you can now send selected data to say, for instance, Azure Event Hub, or to use the log analytics workspace. And so basically, as you can see, you can export, choose to export data. So you can export, for instance, the security recommendation data, or you can also export a secure score data, and this one is in preview, or security alert, or you can just choose to export the regulatory compliance data. Yeah. And further on, you could export to CSV file format or to use a PDF. So within the Security Center, when you click on the regulatory compliance, and then you could click on further on the download report. So the download report kind of gives you 2 options if you want to run the report, download report. So you can choose either CSV or PDF format, and that pushes you, and then you can export this data. So you can also use the future of the workflow automation. So kind of you want to automate the process, and also you have to click it automation, workflow automation, and by adding the automation and then enabling it, and then you could choose like triggers, trigger conditions to it, And then the compliance, and then you have to choose the compliance standard. So you're choosing like Azure Security Benchmark, and then you have to include like a compliance control state. So you would like to measure past compliance and also failed compliance, and that's what you have to choose. So as you can see, so you have to choose, or you can choose also skipped compliance or unsupported compliance. So that's it. So I would quickly go to the Azure portal environment, so we can take a tour about Azure, the Azure Security Center and how to use the regulatory compliance in it. So basically, so this is my Azure environment. So I will be giving a kind of a tour of the my cloud environment, and then you could see this is the security center, and within the security center, we have two subscriptions in my Azure environment, and this security center will be measuring two subscriptions I have, and within here you could find the regulatory compliance. So the regular compliance, and this is the dashboard. So this dashboard kind of gives us an overview of control points. So we have 40 control points, and the 30 out of for the 40 control points was measured, and these are the measurements based on this criterion.
Sorry, CJ, we don't see your screen anymore.
Oh, let me see what's wrong. Okay, I will have to see what's going on.
I think we see the screen, but it's the wrong screen.
I think so, yeah. Let me. I think I have to do authentication on my Azure portal first. Okay. So I would switch my screen. I guess it's better now, right?
Yes,
Perfect.
thanks.
Cool. So this is my security center environment, and within the security center, you see a lot of options. So you could see, for instance, the regular compliance option, and also you can see the Azure Defender, and you can also see the recommendations. So Azure recommendations, for instance, gives you a posture on a secure score of the whole environment you have and how healthy it is. So you could see we have 71 unhealthy resource, 25 healthy resource, and we have a 15 non-applicable. So basically, uh, I have a lot of unhealthy resources which I need to resolve. So, and this is the secure score. So my target is to improve this score to make it higher. So the higher, the better. And Azure recommendation gives you what I need to do. Say, for instance, enable MFA. Sorry. So if I drill down, it will tell me which MFA in which resource and in which subscription. Then I will take action. So let's go to the regulatory compliance, which is the case for today. So 13 resources out of 40 controls was taken, and you could see the a drill down of those controls. So I could see that the network security uh, is showing a red mark. So I will drill further down. So I need to, one of them is I need to implement security for internal traffic. And another is like, okay, connect private networks together. Further on, we could see identity management, which is another issue. And say if I drill down further, it tells me, it
Sorry
tells
to
me,
interrupt.
no problem,
It's gone.
no problem, it's okay. So you could see resource type
We don't see the the Azure portal in fact.
anymore.
Yep.
Better
No,
now?
it's yes.
Okay, yeah. I think I was casting. I'm using two different screens. That's why. So, so basically, when you look at these resource types, and then you could see the issue. You could see that, for instance, two out of the two resources failed, and that's why it's completely red in this case. And the next one is Azure Active Directory administration should be provisioned for the SQL Server. So in this case, this has a high severity, and this needs to be resolved. So back to regulatory compliance. So these issues I need to resolve. Say in the case of the asset management (AM), it shows green mark means I do not need to take any further action, any action to improve it. It's up to date based on Microsoft Azure benchmark, security benchmark. And so if say you want to export the reports, so using the Azure regulatory compliance dashboard, you just need to click here. So download report, and it's going to ask you which report, the standard of report. So these are different standards. So the report that will be generated will be based according to one of these standards. Say I want to export it or want the report on Azure Security Benchmark. I just select that, and I have to choose the format I want it. Say I use like a PDF, and then I'll click download, and I get the report in a PDF format. So I'll get basically Azure Security Benchmark reports, which benchmarks or measures my compliance, security compliance scores against Azure Security Benchmark pointers. Yeah. So you can also audit the reports and then do further research on, digger about the reports you get. Further on, you can also basically do like a workflow automation. So, like I showed in the slide, so you can create a workflow automation, and this automation kind of gives you you can plug it to say log analytics. You can also use like a security solution. So you can say you could mount up a SIM, or you can also add up Azure application gateway. Or you can also use a non-Azure servers and then mount it up to it. Yeah, so basically, this is the presentation for today. So if there's any question, I can now take a question, or if there's something you want me to uh, talk deeper on, and we can yeah, you can let me know. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for this great session. So I don't see any question yet. I think it's clear. But guys, put your question in the chat and we will answer that.
So maybe I could show how to do like a disk inscription, like I talked on the slide. So while I wait for question to come in. So
Yes, go ahead.
yeah. So you can say I will go and pick up say one of the visual machines I have. So I want to say for instance this. So this visual machine, I could say okay, I want to do like a disk inscription. I just click on disk. Additional settings. I can now choose which kind of inscriptions I want. So actual data inscription, or normally I could do inscription based on say uh, OS disk inscription or OS disk inscription with data disk inscription. Yeah. So that's basically how to do that. And I will switch back to Azure Security Center. So if there's any question, yeah, I can take questions now.
No question for now. So I think we will wait for some minutes to have if
Yeah,
you guys have question, and we will close this great session.
cool.
Okay, I think it's kind of clear, and I think we can close this session. So thank you, CJ, for giving to us such information, so useful information to improve our regulatory
Yeah,
compliance, and hope we will have you soon. And thanks for all for participating, and have a nice evening. Thank you, guys.
thank you. Take care. Thanks for
Bye.
the time, Ibrahima.
No
Ciao.
problem. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.